And also like this is when we become enlightened, when we realize the true nature of realities, we don't know. But completely depends that really Dharma is going into our minds. And each verse, each word, each sentences, each volumes, or each teachings, when we receive these teachings, it's how it is the defects, how it's like affect, not defect. How is the affect, how is the benefit into our mind. I think this is the most important. Sometimes here I'm asked to the truth, our great opens, to say, of course, it's like I'm a little bit kind of shame to say this and such things. To look at myself is like horrible practitioners. I have name of the like such high titles, sitting on the chair and go home and to sit in my bed and to think in myself, sometimes crying. But it doesn't matter why I'm a bit in your families. It's our family situations. Why not we come to subjection each other? And now it's like according to your previous bad karmas, I'm become the speaker and you are become the listeners. And then I'm saying, please, could you borrow me your clear ear? I want to, like a kind of crack, and in your ear, is to say, can you borrow me your ear? I want to disturb, to use. And also, it's please, could you practice Dharma sincerely, honestly, and let's choose together. I'm not a very good practitioner. Maybe you are my families. If you practice Dharma correctly, fantastically, purely, if you become enlightenment, such a benefit, of course, it's me. You come to make a liberation, because we have big conditions. And therefore, we are giving kind of suggestions. It doesn't matter. It is not really teaching it. And therefore, it's like the perspective of the family situation. Why not? We need to like this. And according to our in the past, of course, is like something karmas. And so we be together in this house and like kind of family, sharing is one kitchen and one castles, one is the stove, and the eating is like the same food, and we are like chatting and snocking and criticize each other, says I love you, I hate you. It doesn't matter, it's nice. And in this situation, we need to say that, please to tame our own mind, very, very important. Particularly this outer preliminary practice of the 4 reminders. And each like a kind of great master, they all the time say, they never, if you go closer to the great masters, and if you ask to them some pith instructions, first time they say is like, do you understand your human existence? Do you have a little realization of the impermanent? Do you have a little bit notion of the causalities? Do you understand the defects of the samsara? Are you thinking this for reminders? If you say, yes, I studied this, I learned this, and training my mind is this for reminders, these two masters, so happy and great. For example, this year, when I met this master before he passed away, I met him and I asked, through this our situation, what am I doing here? And also particularly it is like we are practicing Bodhisattva Dzogchen. And because of I'm a very bad your student and directly or indirectly, I'm all the time doing something against your pith instructions, you're like, and maybe I'm trying my best, but I'm not a very good person. And if there is any kind of mistakes, you're according to the pith instructions or the advice, that is like kind of representative of the confessions we are doing is like here. And also I have great family in Europe. When they are coming together, they practice really sincerely Bodhisattva Dzogchen to practice the Bodhisattva mantras. He was so happy. And I asked to him, and please could you blessing to them? And it's like, I have like great family. Therefore, but anyway, it is like, what I need to say is it's very, very important to read again and again, and this 7th verse of the outer preliminary practice, again and again, just to understand the precious human existence. And also it's necessary to recognize these great opportunities. Do not spend useless way. And we need to recognize this great high position. When we obtain this human existence, it cannot compare to any worldly achievement. And this is not belonging to others. It is on our own position, our own like belongings. And this is our own precious, this human existence. Do not cry, do not to feel in like kind of how do we say, not feel of the contentment or the dissatisfactions. And to say, I'm ugly, I have this, never say like this. For example, in the Patrul, in the word my perfect teacher said, it's like human beings cannot compare to any other sentient beings. For example, in any kind of alligator sentient beings, like animals, if like these days, it's outside if there, and this kind of very cold weathers, they cannot do nothing. They're used to waiting for the sun, or maybe they can go to under the trees, maybe that's there. But if the human existence, at least, they haven't got maybe home, they are maybe homeless, they are a little stupid, but they can to collect some firewood and to make a fire and to make a warm anything, to make the hot tea and hot coffee and to do something. It's look, therefore, it's the human existence is marvelous. Therefore, it's like for our perspective to more and more reflect on the human existence, to more and more and to make happy. And also very important, I have great opportunity to say, to make happy ourselves. And also it's like according to the human existence, we have great notion of our own potential of the nature. We have the Buddha nature, and through this human existence, we come to make the great accomplishment, the enlightenment. This enlightenment is not come from the outside, not given by the Buddha or God or any deities. This Buddha nature is in our mind streams. If you want to strive, 100% you come to realize that is the coming from in your mind. Therefore, and also it's like thinking about the impermanent. It is the very important. It is unpleasant to constantly impermanent. Sorry to say, the impermanent is all the times like our shadow. And each moment impermanent got the chance immediately attack to us. And impermanent is all the times there, and this uncertainty when it's attacked to ours. And that moment, and then it doesn't matter you are rich, doesn't matter you are powerful, it doesn't matter you are beautiful, handsome. That moment we need to go. That moment we cannot to say, I didn't done nothing, I need to a little bit more time. Impermanence never ever leads to a beating. Say it's like we need to go right now. The impermanent is the Yamantaka's taking away from this human existence. And then it's also in the many sculptures to say that it is like it's difficult to next times to appertain to the human existence. In the 37 practice of this, it says, in these times, this specific word to say, maybe hundreds lifetimes, maybe sometimes we come to obtain the human existence. And that kind of very rare to obtain the human existence. Very difficult. There is like many examples of the example, like a kind of numbers and the cause and conditions. It is like a kind of, there are many examples when we analyze in order to obtain the human existence. Very difficult. Therefore, we need to tame our mind. Is very important. And then it's in the text and the principle, this text, it is of course talking about the compassion. and also compassion. You know Patrul's book, and it says, advice to the Gonzon Chudil. It says, tame your mind with compassion. If you tame your mind with the compassion, your path is never ever become the wrong path. You are all the time on the right path. If we tame our mind with the great compassion, maybe we not need to any other things. Maybe it's included, there is the practicing of the leap over, included the cutting through, and included the creation stage, dissolution stage. All is everything is the teaching of the sutta and tantras. This is like inside of the Bodhisattvas. If we practice purely, utterly, unmistakably to practice Bodhisattva in our minds, then there is everything is included Buddha and the Bodhisattva's path. Therefore, in the principle, our mind, our path is the impartial compassion, Bodhisattva. Therefore, and of course, and there is like some different in according to this post-meditation and meditative equipoise, there are like during the meditation, the compassion, there are different hindrances, obstacles, like a kind of some deceptives, some is like attactives to making problems to ours in order to practice bodhicitta, compassion, and the opposite of the compassions, of course, it is the disturbing emotions, and sometimes in this text saying, we need to analyze inner our disturbing emotions, to look at the direct these disturbing emotions, and then it doesn't make a hindrance for the meditation of the bodhicittas. And sometimes like you look at the cause of the outside appearances, and also it's like can to help to ours, because the outer appearances, there's not truly existence. Outer whatever we have appearances are the delusion, dream, hallucinations like this. And then in the post-meditations, what we need to study, there are of course different things. There is principally we need to turn our mind in the post-meditations. There are 6 transcendent. Of course, it's like when we follow the Buddha's path or enlightenment, there are 3 things. It's very, very, very important things. First is the view. Second, it is the meditation. And the third is the like kind of conduct, activities. And therefore, first time we need to establish into the view, how to establish view into our minds. That is the most important. What does it, the views? When we are like perceiver itself, and also perceived of the appearances, how it is, we need to analyze the feature of the phenomena. That is the most important. Is it existent or non-existence? Something is green or yellow? What it is? We need to search again and again. For example, in the 37 practice of the Bodhisattva says, is all the whatever we have, the appearances of the perception and appearances is not different than our mind. Our mind is free from any extremes. Our mind is free from any elaborations. That we need to think again and again. And it's like we need to think again. And it's one is, and the other hand is quite very easy. Of course, there is like a kind of multitude of perceptions of in our mind in thoughts, and there is a multitude of the appearances of the outside. All these things is like kind of the mixed or the turmoil. It's very difficult to look at our mind. This how do you say this spacious mind. But when we look at those, the multitude or the like kind of multipliers or multipliers or multitude. I mean, multiplier. I don't know. Okay, those like so manyness of those phenomena are, it's like when we look once, sometimes our mind is I can to establish those are into the empty natures. This is not necessary. You know, in Tibet philosophical perspective, they all the time talking about, you know, pillar and vase. All the time they put there's one focal object. Do you understand? Focal object, vase. Or maybe it's they put the one vajja. Maybe it's resting vajjas. Okay, it is like one thing is like to analyze. We can to analyze these cameras. The camera is this one also. This is the camera. Camera is just labeled. This is not the camera. And someone says that we can call to this one is a camera. Is a camera is not this. This is not the camera. And then it's like if we understood this feature of the camera itself, or the nature of the reality, no existence of the cameras, then we can to provide, to apply to the other all the phenomena, and then we easily to understand. Single one object of the things understand, then others is absolutely same. For example, we can to say that this structure of the nature of the and the dimension or the shape or color of the human existence. One human we understand, and then all the humans we don't need to study. Humans like a body, humans a feature, humans is like a nature, is like this. Okay, I understand one analyze one human, then this provide apply to all other humans. Doesn't matter Western human, Eastern human, South human, black human, white human, as human is as a human, or the you and we understand. Like this, one things to establish into the empty nature, and then it's quite easily. This is to maintain that. And then it's like meditation, very important on that. Correct meditation on the views, very important. And then is this view, meditations, these two coming together, and then the supporter is the activities, a conduct. And of course, it's like we call in the post-meditations. This the activity or the conduct is we're talking about. We studied yesterday about the sixth transcendent. That is the most important. And the sixth transcendent, the transcendent of the generosities, transcendent of the moral discipline, transcendent of the patient, transcendent of the diligent. And therefore, and now it is that we are the fifth transcendent of it is the meditative concentration. I think that one, yes?